Look at what I did, look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog, I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog, I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless, yeah, I'ma go hard regardless, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. And how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know.
Setting Dylan Gabriel up.
What I started. Look how far I came, dog, I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog, I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless, yeah, I'ma go hard regardless, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. And how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know. Look at what I did, look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog, I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog, I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless, yeah, I'ma go hard regardless, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. And how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know.
Setting Dylan Gabriel up.
What I started. Look how far I came, dog, I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog, I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless, yeah, I'ma go hard regardless, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. And how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know. Look at what I did, look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog, I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog, I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless, yeah, I'ma go hard regardless, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. And how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know.
Setting Dylan Gabriel up.
What I started. Look how far I came, dog, I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog, I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless, yeah, I'ma go hard regardless, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. And how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know. Look at what I did, look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog, I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog, I just went my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless, yeah, I'ma go hard regardless, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did, yeah. And how good they judge me, oh, but they don't know.
Setting Dylan Gabriel up.
Look how far I came, dog, I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just win my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. Renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah. And how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know. Look at what I did, look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog, I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog, I just win my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless, yeah, I'ma go hard regardless. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, renting my check, I rent on my bag, I did what I did. Yeah, and how good they judge me, oh. But they don't know.
Dylan Gabriel up.
Look at what I
Biggest
started.
L out of
Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guidance. I just did my thing, dog. I just win my hardest. And I'ma go hard regardless.
What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Let me get on camera. What is going on, everybody? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Hope y'all are feeling good. It feels good to be back, doing a quick sound check, making sure we are starting this thing off right. Let's see. Let me listen for a second, and then we can get this thing rocking and rolling. Let's see. We are back. We are good. The sound is good. Hopefully, y'all are doing good. Let's turn this off so I'm not distracted. There we go. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. This is season 2 of Eliminate the Gray. The theme for the season is year 2 will not be like year 1. I know y'all heard me say that a lot in the past. You will hear me say that a lot more this year. So hopefully y'all are ready to go. We got some special things in order for this season. Special things on Patreon. Special things on YouTube. So I'm just very excited, refreshed, re-energized for this season, and just ready to rock and roll. But y'all know how we do it. We do it like only we can. We got to greet everybody in the chat. What's going on? What's going on? Let's start at the top. Craig, the first one in the building. Good morning, D. In the chat. Good to have you back. It feels good to be back. I don't feel like I missed that much in the time that I was off. It seems like people were just doing what they normally do, making up stories, trying to hit the algorithm. So I feel good. What's going on? Shout out to you for being here, Craig. Let me get my buds back in order. We gonna get it right. There we go. Selmo Fudd in the building. Welcome back, D. Big dog.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies.
It's time for some football, y'all. I hope y'all are ready. It's time for some football. Less time for just making up stories and off the field stuff. I'm excited. Let's keep it rocking. Top of the morning, everyone. Happy Feel Good Friday. Happy to be back with the OffThaRecordDee fam. What's going on, Black Pearl?
What's up? What's up? What up?
What's going on? What's good, Off the Record family? Key Mathis in the building. What's going on, Key Mathis?
45-47.
45-47. JC Smith Music. Welcome back, Off the Record D. Time for some real football. What up, chat? JC Smith Music. What's going on? Those are facts. Those are facts. Cedric, my dog, what's going on? Yo, we back. Missed y'all. Missed y'all too, man. Hopefully y'all got some time away from everything that was going on and you just took it in the summer. You know what I'm saying? You worked on your tan, you threw some food on the grill, and you enjoyed yourself. Let's go here.
Nah, I just didn't care. Like, and I said what I said. I'm not gonna say it again, but I just don't care. Like,
I just don't care. I like that. The soul glow. Black Pro, that's how I feel. I'm feeling good. I got some good stuff in order for the season. An organized show. We got segments. There's so many things that I've been hitting at previously that like you'll just see me just roll out things for the next month until we actually get the guys back on the grass. So I cannot wait. Stop by, say happy Friday. Oh, let's go. What's going on, Ivar? How you feeling? Good morning. Glad to have you. Glad to have y'all. Glad to have y'all. We got some things going on this year. So we're going to introduce segments. I'm not introducing all of the segments to the show today, but I'm going to introduce some segments to the show today. We still got some in our back pocket for later when the time is right. So we're going to introduce segments today. We also want to highlight that if you go to OffThaRecordDee.com, top left corner, if you're on the mobile phone, click the hamburger menu, click articles. I put out an article before training camp. The next article I'll put out will be after training camp, after the 53-man rosters, and then I will be adding one article every week after the game. I haven't figured out which day I'm going to release it, but just be tuned. Off the Record D will be more than just a clothing site. It'll be where you can go and actually get my written words about how I feel about things throughout the season. Also, it's a way to make sure that in the moment we have a written history of what's happening, because people will try to rewrite history, and they'll try to rewrite it real fast. And they could do that, but I'm going to make sure I know the truth. A.M. Williams, good morning. Happy Friday. What's going on, A.M. Williams? Glad to have you. Hopefully you're feeling better. D, I've been studying to get into home inspections during the downtime. It's been a steady 6 weeks. Hey, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. One thing, there will always be transactions, homes selling, homes hitting the market. Amazing field to get in. Shout out to you, man. Keep doing your thing, Zedric. Keep doing your thing. That is a good field to get in. Anything you can get into pertaining to real estate is a good field, because when will we not need real estate? So shout out to you. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Last announcement before we really get into it. Shows will be more organized. So we're going to go 2.5 hours for the show. So it's going to be 2.5 hours. Just so you know, going into it, 2.5 hours is going to be less filler, more information, more jam-packed. So I'm keeping y'all attention and respectful of y'all time. So shows will be 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. Felix, what's going on? It's all right. We just get into it. What's going on, Felix? Good to hear you getting better, A.M. Williams. Good to hear that. I thought I would start off with something fun, so let's do that. Let me make sure. So it's funny, y'all. When you haven't streamed in a while, you got to get back into the flow of things. So this is just, I got to tell y'all, because, we family. Last night, I forgot how to schedule my stream. I forgot how to schedule my stream, y'all. I was, oh man, it was funny, but we back. Tool Man, hey Browns family, he's back. Tool Man, what's going on? What is going on, Tool Man? Glad to have you. We are back. We are definitely back. We are back. All right, let's get this down and get this up. And shout out to Zedric, because Zedric said this to me a while ago. He told me I should have used this, and I didn't forget. So here we go. Let's play it. So if you want to know my mood and how I feel, that is exactly how I feel right there. I feel just like that. I feel just like that. We are back. We are back. Let's get this thing going. Let's get it rocking and rolling. If you don't use it, you will lose it. Let me tell you. And I was debating, like, dang, am I gonna tell y'all? I'm like, nah, I gotta tell them. I had to hit Google. Google, help. I can't schedule. I cannot schedule my stream. What's going on? Let's keep it rocking and rolling. We got some motivation. I like to go back to some motivation that I really enjoy. I like this motivation a lot, so we're gonna run it back. Let's run it back.
Who knocks out everybody and no one can whoop him. That's when that little Cassius Clay from Louisville, Kentucky came up and stopped Sonny Liston, the man who annihilated Floyd Patterson twice. He was gonna kill me. But he hit harder than George. His reach was longer than George. He's a better boxer than George. And I'm better now than I was when you saw that 22-year-old undeveloped kid running from Sonny Liston. I'm experienced now, professional. Jaw's been broke, been lost, knocked down a couple of times. Bad. Been chopping trees. I done something new for this fight. I done wrestled with an alligator. That's right. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
Man, dude.
Bad. Fast. Last night, I cut the light off my bedroom, hit the switch, was in the bed before the room was dark.
Incredible.
Fast.
Incredible.
And you, George Foreman, all of you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him. All of you. I know you got him. I know you got him picked, but the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Classic. Y'all know this is some of my favorite motivation, so I can always go back to it. Shout out to Muhammad Ali, the legacy he's left. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. He is immortalized. We will always go back to his quotes, his sacrifices, and what he did throughout his life to leave his mark on the world. So y'all know I can always go back to this. Y'all know I can. Been good, had some fun. Sending World Cup memes and classic football. Yes. Tool man, I was into the World Cup probably more than I ever had, because for me, not having two jobs, doing one job, it seemed like I had free time. So it seemed like I had more free time, but I watched it a lot more, and I was like, dang, I like this. I like this a lot. Is it similar to setting the premieres up? It's not similar. So when I live stream on Patreon, I have to change the settings, and then I had to change the settings back to live stream on YouTube, because currently Streamlabs doesn't allow you to schedule a Patreon live stream yet. So that's as simple as me just changing where I wanted the stream to go. But hey, your boy was struggling, but we got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. Where we at? Dance like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Yeah, y'all know I can always go back to this. I like this a lot. Very true saying, use it or lose it. That's a fact. Just like use your brain, walking, use your body as you get older, make sure you move around, all those things, man. All those things. There's a clip I like from Shador that carries a similar energy to this. It was when they came into JSU. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look for it. When I get some time later on. Where my pen at? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for it. Shout out to you. All right. We got motivation down. Now for the first of our segments, and hopefully y'all like these. I put some extra work into what the show is going to be. So this is our first one. Let's go. We got receipts, y'all.
Wait for Acho to get fired.
So we got receipts. Y'all know I keep them CVS level receipts. So a long time ago, I put Emmanuel Acho on the Summer Jam screen, and I said he never built up his channel. His channel was bought for Speakeasy. Now, I don't watch Emmanuel Acho, so I didn't know any of this was going on. I was watching Low, Legend of Winning, and he was breaking down. I guess Acho's been going back and forth with people online, and Acho finally had to come clean about how he got his channel and his 2.6 million subscribers. He finally had to come clean. You know, like a bunch of things. Y'all heard it here first. But let's go.
Fired. I responded, stop being greedy. God already answered your prayers when I got fired last year. Since then, I formed Speakeasy Talk Show. I did not buy the Speakeasy channel. I did not have to buy the Speakeasy channel. Once I left Fox as part of my settlement, it was y'all go ahead and run me this channel because it's going to lie dormant, just like the current Speak For Yourself channel is sitting dormant on YouTube. If y'all not brilliant enough to use it, Fox, I will. Now, y'all at home, you don't build.
Man, let me tell y'all, Acho, you've got mail. Shout out to you, Zedric. I got that from you. Acho is good with words. Acho is good with how he plays with words. He said, I formed it. I didn't buy it. I got it in the settlement. Acho, man. Acho, man. You don't get more credit for saying you formed it and you got it in the settlement. Like, the people's entire argument was you didn't build the channel, only for you to finally come clean and say, I didn't build the channel. That's all it is, man. That's the only issue. Now he gonna give us poor example. But we gonna let him try to cook. He's boiling water right now.
Build a car. You buy a car that's already been built, because why would you build a car if you could buy a car?
Man, get the fuck out of here.
I gotta pause Low, because Low about to go off right here. But who was walking around saying they built a car? Who is walking around saying, hey, y'all, I built this car? Nobody's walking around saying that. So that's just a poor example to try to use to defend yourself. The thing is, if you just come clean early, you're not doing all this backtracking and all this stuff you're doing now. So the only reason why I even played this was because I recall I was the first person to highlight the fact that Acho took on another channel and he did not build his channel from scratch. And that's why he was just in front of everybody. Like one day we just started seeing Acho everywhere. Like his stuff just popped up. And it was because people were already subscribed to Undisputed's channel. And I highlighted that previously. I was one of the first people. Then I recall Asante Samuel saying it later and Shannon Sharp saying it later. So then people started saying it later. But you know, I let it be known. I let it be known what it was. So we're not gonna go too far in that, but this is one of those situations where y'all see the stuff I'm telling y'all, it's not lies. It's not made up. I showed the receipts, so much so that Acho had to come back and agree with me from months ago. So Acho, man, that's going to be Michael Jordan. Talk to him, actually.
Stop it. Get some help.
Get some help. Get some help, Acho. Get some help. Let's catch up on the chat before we keep this thing moving forward. Oh yeah, Zedric did send us a link. Let me see. Let's go ahead and play that now. He did. Let's go. We got that. There we go. We got it right here. Shout out to the plug.
It equates to a blowout. You gotta understand, y'all don't really understand, like, it's players that have different caliber of talent that all came to JSU. So it's like, when you compare us to a regular SWAC team, a different SWAC team, the best, like, You gotta understand, we didn't come here because we had to. We came here because we chose to. It's a difference.
Talk to him. Hey, we different. Don't compare us to them. Don't compare us. Shout out to Zedric for that one. Shador been dropping bars. Shador been dropping bars for a long time. Don't compare us to them. Where we leave off at? Not this guy. I don't rock with this dude, Acho. Yeah, that's the only reason why I played it. Only because he was confirming what I said previously. That's the only reason why we add him to the receipt segment. Let's see. He thinks he's doing something. Yeah, he does. To me, Acho is making it worse. If I was him, I wouldn't talk about it no more. I wouldn't talk about it. I would not talk about it. Settlement from Fox. It wasn't earned. Talk to him too, man. Yeah. Keep Mathis for real. That's why I didn't even know it existed until I was watching Low Slick talking. That's a fact. Dr. Clyde Marshall in the building. What's going on, man? What's going on? Glad to be back. Glad to be back. I just want to make sure that I always appreciate y'all's time that y'all spend with me. So I just couldn't in good conscience just get up here and talk about kind of the gossiping and those type of stories that was happening. The stories that have no validity, where journalists are saying that they're protected from journalism, but they're really giving their opinion. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that for 5 weeks. I couldn't treat y'all that way. So I said, "No, we're gonna take a break. Echo thinks he is the smartest person in the room. That's a fact. He think we don't listen to words. We listen to words. I fired him several times as a fan. He only retread fake news and bag takes. I agree. I remember seeing it the first time I asked, when did I subscribe to him? Yeah, they just popped up. Out of nowhere. You're like, wait, how did I get here? how did I never subscribed to this show before? He is always trying to use wordplay to give his corny takes. Echo is not working. We see you. Yes, we see you. We see you for who you are. Independent media is taking over Big Dog. Talk to him. That's a fact. At some point when I get time, I want to put together. I've already started putting together, and I've already started doing some research in the background on the fall of traditional media. But that's just a kind of like a pet project that I'm working on the side. But it's one reason for the fall of traditional media. Actually, two. And I'm going to spell that out, whether I do it in video or something written. But I'm working on it. He can't compare where you can't compete. That's a fact. Fox told him he could take the trash with him and get to stepping. For real. Threw him out like Uncle Phil and Jazzy Jeff. Threw him out. So glad you returned. I decided to give G. Bush a try. He is vociferous. Your absent time was presented to G. Bush. Glad to have you back, man. Glad to have you back. Like I was saying earlier, I didn't want to waste y'all time because I respect y'all time. And then also I knew that returning, it will be a renewed energy from all parties. So shout out to you, Dr. Clyde Marshall. He's not even close to as relevant in sports news as a retired kicker whose best play was not a fake against Troy Polamalu. In other words, a field goal. No, he can't mess with Pat McAfee. Far too many love wearing the dress. Brent, what's going on? We not gonna let you sneak in like that. What's going on, Brent? Welcome back. Shout out to you.
Can I pet that dog? No, he's sleeping. Can I pet that dog?
Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Brent. Welcome back. That was Acho. That was receipts. Nothing else for him. That's enough screen time for him. Y'all know I like to keep it moving on him. What we got next? Let's keep it rolling. What we got next? All right, let's go here and check out the next segment, y'all.
Every time someone says,
This party is private. You look like a fraud. Squad got the sauce. You the type that we would dodge. All access denied to the click. You were not invited. Who you think you with? This party.
All right. Hopefully y'all like it. Hopefully that wasn't too loud for y'all. I gotta work out the sound of it. But this is the next segment. Access denied. Y'all know that's one of my catchphrases I really enjoy. Hola, buenos dias, D in chat. Haha, dogs. What's going on, Brent? Welcome in, man. Good to see you. Glad to have you back. Shout out to you for those 2 movie recommendations. I appreciate you. Man, while he was gone, G Bush, Big Snacks, Auntie Faye, I ran into many of you guys there too. All right, I see y'all linking up. Charmaine, the hardest working woman in Ohio. What's going on? Welcome in. Glad to have you. So moving along on or in this next segment, access denied. Rex Ryan, he did the same thing he did last year, and I'm not going to react really to his words. I'm going to react to Press Room Breakdown. Shout out to Press Room Breakdown. Him breaking down what's the reason. What is the reason? Because this really knocks down the third wall of what I've been trying to get people to see, and maybe I didn't put it together the best way, but I believe Press Room Breakdown put it together really good in this video. The title of this video is Shedeur Sanders Said This Would Happen. All right, let's play it. Let's go, Press Room Breakdown. I like how Cameron Justice did Shedeur justice with that interview. She is a real one. Shout out to Cam Justice. She's moving up the board. She's definitely moving up the board. Her and Daniel Oyefusi are definitely moving up the board. Shout out to both of them.
limited to television personalities. Back in May, veteran Browns reporter Mary Kay Cabot wrote that Deshaun Watson had the inside track over Shedeur Sanders after off-season practices. At that point, the quarterbacks had barely practiced in shorts, without pads, and there was very little competitive football to evaluate. Once again, the conversation generated significant attention. I'm not questioning anyone's motives. I'm pointing out something measurable, discussions that are skeptical of or critical toward Shedeur Sanders consistently draw an audience. Every profession has incentives. Businesses respond to profit, social media responds to engagement, sports media responds to audience attention. So it's fair to ask, if one topic consistently produces more clicks, more searches, and more engagement, can that incentive begin shaping the conversation itself? What's fascinating is that Shedeur...
Let me pause it right here. I believe the answer to that question is yes. So I put out an old clip, something I said a year ago. I said that LeBron James, Shedeur Sanders, and Caitlin Clark are the most polarizing figures in sports right now. And I got some pushback when I said that, but I just saw it clear. I saw that people were divided into two camps with those three. And people don't change how they feel publicly, at least from what I can see. So I saw that it was all love or all hate, and it was no middle ground. It was no feeling out time. It was no, let me get to know this person more time with those three. But now everybody sees that besides you being able to build up an industry of, let's just keep it easy, being pro Shedeur, you can also build up an industry from hating on Shedeur. There are two sides to it. So when people are this polarizing, you can feed either side of it. And to me, a lot of people have used the hate side to garnish attention. And once I realized that that's what they were doing, I was like, I'm not going to watch these people. I'm not going to say their names. I'm not going to react to what they say. And you don't have to. You can do whatever you want to do. But it would be better if more people saw the tactic that these people are using. So some people say, well, it's accountability. It's holding them accountable. And I would disagree. And the reason why I would disagree is because they're feeding the base. They are feeding a base of people. Rex Ryan was wrong a year ago. He's wrong now. The lead content creator, she was wrong a year ago. She's wrong now. They're not changing. Now, if you are working in a more formal capacity like Boog, you can respond and set the record straight. 7 ways to Sunday, we can try to hold people accountable. They're not changing. The guys on the radio, 92.3 The Fan, who troll and always bring up negative things about Shador. Nobody's holding them accountable because they've picked the side to be on, and the side that they're on is to feed the negative base and have the people who are pro Shador respond to them so they eat off both sides. They eat off both sides of it. So for me, I just eliminate them. I said, look, I don't see it. Y'all remember I started saying Tony Yayo. I don't see it because there was no point in seeing it. I saw through what they were doing. So I'm starting to notice that it's more of a trend with people saying, I'm not even going to watch it. I'm not even going to watch it. And I'm happy we finally got to that point because holding them accountable is not reacting to it, not marketing them more, not always highlighting the mistakes. It's not giving them the attention. It's not giving them the attention. So I came into YouTube thinking that if I saw people doing this and me responding or reacting to them or, exposing where they were wrong, it would make a difference. Unfortunately, it just feeds the algorithm. So now I see it differently. A year ago, I had a stance where, man, I wouldn't show a well-off video because I wanted people to go and look at well-off media. What I realized is if it's a person that you appreciate, you should show more of their videos to highlight them, to bring light to them. And that's how YouTube works. So the ones that you don't appreciate what they do and say, you don't highlight them. The ones you do, you highlight them. So that's the way I'm going to handle it moving forward. But I just like the way this was put here. So let me catch up on the chat, and then we're going to listen to more of Press Room Breakdowns video. So let's see. We had some people come in here. Where did I leave off at? About right here. Rex Ryan isn't relevant to football. The reason is because he lacks authenticity and nuance. I agree with that. D Neon, what's going on? Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me back. I appreciate it. Glad to be back in front of y'all. I love Munkin because he is authentic and doesn't get lost in the noise. I agree with that. I agree with that too, man. CO7111, what's going on? Good morning, everyone. What a welcome surprise. Hope everyone is well and prospering. We appreciate that, and hopefully you are too, CO7111. I find it funny that Rex had so much to say about Shador during a photo shoot, but had no words for Gino being accused of DV or getting pulled over for speeding. Isn't he still involved with the Jets? I don't know if Rex is still involved with the Jets, but you would think he might have some relationships over there. But that shows the hypocrisy. Because they only highlight it with Shador. They don't highlight it when other guys do the exact same thing. So that's where the issue lies. Rex Ryan, hi, this is Rosa Parks of the Civil Rights. I saw you when I was told to sit at the back of the bus. Oh, no, not Rex Ryan. I see through what he's about. What he's doing is he is drumming up a reaction from people leading into the NFL season. And he's seeing them cuts at ESPN, and he making sure that his name is in the algorithm so he is not one of those cuts. Excuse me, y'all. He's making sure that he's not one of those cuts. That's what I believe. The name Shador is as polarizing as the name Trump. Now, I guarantee people will disagree with that, but if you look online, I would have to say that's true. I'll have to say it's true only based on the stats, because everybody doesn't tune in to see what's going on with Shador because they love and appreciate him. A lot of people had that Floyd Mayweather view where they tune in because they want to see him fail. They want to see him fail. That's what they want to see. Shout out to Charmaine. I appreciate you. The Unk Alert. The Unk Alert. I like that. I like that. I like that. Shout out to you, Charmaine. I caught it because they don't give you that much time when y'all send those type of gifts. They don't show up as long. But I just saw that in the chat as I was reading. So shout out to Charmaine. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo has been at every summer event and nobody had nothing to say. Crickets. Joe Burrow was at Fanatics Fest. Was that me? Was that a me or a we thing? That was a Ishador thing. They don't hold anyone else to that same standard. Nobody else to the same standard. So let me grab some water, y'all. They don't hold many people to that same standard. He's a multimillionaire, doesn't need to be driving himself anywhere. If I was super rich, driving would be the last thing I ever did. I think he had to learn that. We got to remember Shador's age. Shador is very mature for his age, but that doesn't mean he won't do things that show his age. So, like after he got those speeding tickets, what happened? He was like, all right, well, I'm going to get a driver. I'm gonna get a driver. So I think that's the mature way to handle it. Being mature for your age doesn't mean you will make no mistakes. Hopefully it means you learn from those mistakes quicker, which it seems like he has because he don't drive himself around Cleveland no more. With the layoffs at ESPN, Rex was clout chasing to get traction. I saw on a pro Shador channel ESPN clip of them mimicking Shador weight routine. Those analysts are scared and in desperation mode. Do y'all remember I said everybody needs a Shador story? I said that about a year ago at this point. Everybody needs a Shador story. Shador said, I am the algorithm. Out of all the stuff they picked apart out of what Shador's been saying recently, from his song Turn Back to his interview with Apple, nobody said, hey, he not the algorithm. Nobody said he's not moving numbers on YouTube and social media. Nobody said that because they know he is. And when they need some numbers and when they need a topic because they lack creativity, they go ahead and get that Shador story. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. That's what they do. Hey, I got nothing else to talk about. Shador. Driving is the number one thing that gets you connected with the police. Without a car, most people would never even have an interaction with the police. Hey, I can't argue with you there. I can't argue with you there too, man. I cannot argue with you there. This season is a make or break for Monken. So when it comes to the dog pound, he's gonna make sure they cook. I think he is going to change the offense in a positive way, mainly through the running game. I believe the Browns' running game is the part that people are probably not putting that much stake in. But if you have a good run game, it kind of eliminates, it doesn't eliminate. It will hide other mistakes that you make. For anybody that wants to know, the Super Bowl champs, the Seattle Seahawks, I want y'all to look at Sam Darnold's numbers from during the season. If you're curious, look at Sam Darnold's numbers, look at his turnovers, look at the interceptions, just look at them and try to determine how they were so good. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's going to start with the offensive line and the run game, and it's going to open up the offense. Open it up. A lot of people don't remember that Cignetti and Monken were both coaching under Saban at Alabama. Man, I didn't know they were there at the same time. I didn't know that. Let's see. If we really had a QB problem, we could pick up Derek Carr cheap from New Orleans if this was the only thing holding us back from winning. Yeah, if it was a real problem, I agree with that. If that was the only thing. I think people just say that because it's the thing that people respond to, but I don't think we have a QB problem. I don't think we have a QB problem. We will be competitive this year more than last year. I expect our O-line to be the question, and by week 4, they will be better than week 1, regardless of record. I would agree with that. They had the nerve to say he is playing the victim. He should be happy he has gotten a chance. In other words, shut up and dribble. Yeah. It's one of those where the people who are saying that they have a cadence. Their cadence is when they come back from being off, they say the most crazy thing about Shador. And that's on ESPN Cleveland, I believe. Look at what the mascot Tony Rizzo said when he came back from vacation. I believe what you're alluding to, I think that was Tony Grossi who said that. So when they come back from a long break, they got to use Shador controversy to stir up. They got to feed the hate side, and they got to get the reaction from the pro Shador side. That's what they're doing. Oh yeah. OMG, I realize every time there's positivity media around Shador, one of them will create outrageous clickbait to overshadow it for the rest of the media to focus on. Good catch, Priya. Good catch. I agree with that. Sam Darnold broke a Seahawks record for passing yards. He had a ton of passing yards. They had a really good run game, but he threw a lot of interceptions during the season. Everything is QB will win. That line settles in and the run game starts to take shape. Will be scary fun to watch. I'm telling you, I can't wait. Camp Justice in the story about free football camp and him joining Deshaun in Florida equal Rex Ryan. Facts. Facts. 500 kids. We're gonna talk a little bit about that story too. The Super Bowl MVP was a running back. Correct. G. Bush story with Prime was completely ignored while everyone focused on the lead content creators' comments. They then misrepresented part of the interview that they could misconstrue and comment on, completely ignored the rest. Yeah, they were never going to talk about it in a positive way. They were never going to talk about it in a positive way because it didn't match what they wanted to get from the interview. So they were never going to speak on it in a positive way. Never were. It just feels like we're on the cusp of something special, not QB away, not anyone, just time to grow, develop, and we will be special. I agree with that too, man. I agree with that. Since Rizzo been back, he has been taking off the mask. I don't want to hear another Shador supporter say that he is for Shador. Black Pearl, do you remember when I said, when everybody was bigging up Rizzo and I said, nah, he's not the guy? What was that, 4 or 5 months ago? What was that, 4 or 5 months ago? I said that about Rizzo, and I said he is not the guy to be propping up. And look at him now. He not the guy. I seen clear through it. He has too many situations where he has been on some other stuff. Too many situations. Art Jizzle, what's going on? What's up, chat room? OffThaRecordDee. Art Jizzle, what's going on? Hey, Art Jizzle, I forget.
Look at that.
No, I ain't looking at no feet. Man, ain't nobody looking at no feet.
You're looking at feet? All right. I'm looking at feet.
What's going on, Art Jizzle? That's the pattern. That's why they're doubling down on Deshaun being the starter when nothing has changed in 6 weeks. That's a fact. That is a fact. All right, let's get back to press room breakdown. Let's go.
Sanders talked about this very idea in his recent short film. Before this latest controversy, he described what it feels like when your name becomes one of the biggest drivers of attention in sports media.
I don't respect people that talk down on other people for financial gain. For their own gain, you gotta understand the media. It's like, if I understand my name is an algorithm and everybody's content creators, how could I ever get mad at somebody making their money? I just can't respect them.
I think.
Shout out to Shador. Hey, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm telling y'all, man, when I say stuff, at first it sounds outrageous. Then once you let it sit with you and you let it settle, then you like, that don't sound as crazy. So when I said these aren't journalists, everything they do is not journalism. It's too much opinion for them to be journalists. I was like, they're content creators and they're doing it for clicks. They're doing it for views. They're doing it for the same reason I'm doing it. And people pushed back on me and said, no, that's a media member. Do people not realize the media is all about clicks and views? Did they miss that part? When the lead content creator says something outrageous and then writes an article, it's to get the clicks. If a content creator uses clickbait on the thumbnail, it's to get the clicks. When I said that, I just really realized it just all came together, and I was like, do y'all realize this? All of it is for clicks. So you eliminate the clicks. That's what you do. So shout out to Shador for seeing that. Let's catch up on the chat. Shout out to him. I like his perspective. Like, you don't got to get mad at it. Identify what they're doing, and you can choose to respect it or not. But if you are going to speak down on someone's name to get the clicks and the views, I don't respect it. So shout out to Shador. I like his view of that. I agree Rizzo is fake. Shador having positive feedback and saying he's evening out the competition with Design. Then Rizzo says they're only talking him up for trade talks, and everyone focused on that and ignored Shador's progress. I agree. And everybody came out and was like, that's a lie. He made that up. He just plays good cop, bad cop, or grossy, but they are one and the same. I agree with that. Rizzo is a complete fraud. I remember you pointing that out, totally on point. And when I'm highlighting this stuff, I know what's happening. A lot of people who are just they recently or within the last 12 to 15 months started covering the Browns. They think that these people are just like this now when these people have a history of being this way. So Rizzo flip-flopping, if y'all notice, the example I showed y'all was Myles Garrett. I didn't show y'all a Shador example when I was talking about Rizzo. I showed y'all him doing it to a totally different person to really, drive home the point. But they've been this way. The lead content creator, she's been this way. They've been this way, y'all. Brown's key is to be opportunistic and make the most of chances. Only stat that will matter isn't QBR or any other fake stats. It's third and fourth down conversions and field goal TD opportunities. Talk to him. I agree with that. We're going to get to QBR. We got QBR on the docket today. I had to go in all the way on QBR. I don't like people being able to hold something over my head and say, well, I understand this better than you. Because then I'll go learn it way better than you ever knew. We're going to get to QBR, though. Shador's been under the microscope, so he's used to the media ways and shenanigans, for real. Shador said, I see you. Yeah, shout out to Shador. Also, during his interview, he was like, he read the book Atomic Habits, 1% Better Daily. Okay, Shador, I see you. I see you. The ability to put 7 inside the 20 is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Put points on the board. KC, what's going on? Welcome back, D. Hey, chat family. KC, what's going on? Glad to have you. Media only wants to be first, not correct. I agree with that. Tika, what's going on? Where we at? Let's see. We got Tika right here.
I don't think he went to school nowhere. If he went to school, he didn't learn nothing.
He didn't learn nothing. What's going on? Glad to have you. Welcome in. Where we at? Are we reviewing Monken's interview? He was so positive. He said this is the best time to be coach of the Browns. It will be remembered as a period when people start respecting moves of the Cleveland Browns. Yes, we are. We definitely got that on the docket. Yes, I do. I start, when we get to that interview, I start at that exact moment. That's funny. Rex Ryan, you and many others is the reason why, as to why I march. Your name is mentioned in the Bible. Lamentations 4:18. They hunt our steps. Yeah, I see through what Rex Ryan is doing. I see through what he's doing. I didn't know we was live today. Welcome back. Welcome back to you. We are back at it. Zedric said, don't remind me. I just forgot about QBR. What I want to do is I want to provide people with a shield. I want to provide them with a shield, y'all. I'm not providing you with a sword to go out there and fight battles. I'm providing you with a shield to block and protect yourself from the games that people play. So just like EPA, remember Remember I broke down EPA, and then Jason Lloyd had to come back and agree with some of the stuff I said about EPA where he was wrong, and I said it's a lack of understanding. The same thing with QBR. We're gonna break it down, and I'm gonna show y'all that people use it with a lack of understanding, and we just gonna break it down the right way. Only we can. Yes, I'm going to reread Atomic Habits, best book I read this year. Atomic Habits is the truth, 1% better daily. You cannot beat it. Ms. Brown, what's going on? Hello, everyone. Glad to be back. What's going on, Ms. Brown? What's going on? Munkin on his TI, let him know. Yeah, he was. He was letting them know in that interview. FB Teams did a segment about historical Browns fails. Rizzo had a whole scandal that got him kicked out of the official press pool. I forgot the details, but I was surprised. That is true. Just if you want to look more into that, just search for mugshots. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say, and keep it moving. I had to think about how I wanted to respond to that. EPA and QBR is only used on Shador. That's a fact, because the story that they want to tell with EPA and QBR, it kind of doesn't work. It kind of doesn't work. There's enough balance in the league that most games are decided by a field goal or touchdown. Important key drives, stops, and those 5 key plays. Can't wait to see our boys in pads next week. Yes, that is it. That is it. I hadn't seen the full interview. You got the link, D. I wanted to listen later. Yes, I dropped it. The Top Monkey interview, I dropped it in Patreon. The first one I put was a clip, and then I dropped it as a response there. I dropped the whole one. I dropped the whole the whole interview link in the Patreon. Start at the 48-minute mark is where Top Monkey is gonna start speaking. But drop my Patreon. If you can't find it, I'll drop the link again. I'll drop it again over there. I still don't understand how they think those stats are bigger deal than Shador winning the most games of any QB in the past 2 years. That's why we're going to break it down and get a full understanding of it. We're going to break it down and get a full understanding of it. All right. Shout out to each and every one of y'all. Great time talking. Let's keep it moving forward. What we got next on the docket? Let's go here. Wow, some people like to use stats they don't fully understand. I like to watch the film. This is Tails.
Tell them, like, during the game, like, I respect their defense. I respect kind of like they coaching it.
Hold on, Shador. They don't fully understand. I like to watch the film. This is Tales of the Tape. We are back. This is Tales of the Tape. I don't know if Cam just needed a Shador story. So Cam Newton was speaking on Shador when Shador was breaking down what happened at the end of the Buffalo game. I think he left out some key. He didn't leave out key details, but I'll tell y'all my thoughts once we listen to it. I hadn't been in since yesterday. I'll check. All good. No worries. I need them to figure out the center situation. I think biggest factor will be cohesion of the offensive line and Shador being in sync, and work with them to make reads. I agree. I think also this feeds into it, and when I do this, it'll respond. All right, let's go, Cam.
And how it was, because if you understand, it was kind of like Tampa 2, that Mike Backer running, walling, taking that middle, because we had a through route, a vertical route from the inside. Then we had a dagger coming. But then as soon as and I'm like, okay, cool. I got the dagger. But then he peeled off and then was waiting on that dagger. So by the time I went there, then it was just hard.
Press pause right there, Peg. I'll say this, that it may not have been Tampa 2, just because you have, it's a football term where they say
Tika, you just read my mind. You just read my mind. You just read my mind. G Bush did a whole breakdown on EPA last Saturday. Shout out to G Bush. I did my EPA breakdown 6 months ago. So it's a stat I'm very, very, very familiar with. So I didn't want people to be able to hold it over my head, but yeah, I did mine about 6 months ago when Jason Lloyd made those egregious comments about Shedeur was the worst QB based on EPA since 2000. So hopefully more people understand what EPA is. But yeah, I did that. I did that a little while ago. I have to look this up again, but it was interesting. Evelyn, what's going on? How you feeling? Y'all remember that? Do you know my grandma? What's going on, Evelyn? I think Cam just wanted to talk about Shedeur. He really just started yapping. Yes. So what he is not taking into context is, or consideration, that Shedeur said that right after a game without the beauty of looking at the film. Without looking at the film, Shedeur said that. Cam is looking at the film and he is having his reaction. Mofo, what's going on? I appreciate you. Thank you for the 2 jewels. Shout out to Mofo. I appreciate you. So he has the beauty of looking at the film. Shedeur said that right after a game. So it's going to sound different. It's going to sound different. EPA was a made up thing from ESPN in 2011. I'm not trying to be combative, but that's not true. QBR was, we gonna get to QBR. EPA was existed before 2011, just to let you know. I'll just say that. I'm not trying to be combative, just trying to put the official stats out there. EPA existed before 2011. Back to Cam. Cam needed a Shedeur story, which is true. He did get here from the Rex Ryan. I didn't understand it. I think Cam is looking at this through the lens of being a veteran quarterback and not through the lens of where he was on his 5th or 6th start in the NFL, which he would have looked at it differently. There is a part that I appreciate from Cam when he's talking about his game experience, but when Cam is saying this, Cam has the advantage of experience, and Shedeur was saying that live right after a game. Shedeur was saying that live right after a game. So with Cam saying, oh, I don't know if it's cover 2 or cover 4 or this or that. One thing I try to do is I try to go back to when I'm speaking on a 24-year-old, I try my best to think about not me at this age. I try to think about me at 24 years old, how my thought process was. That's what I try to do. That's what I try to do. And I believe people struggle with doing that. People struggle. Cam is struggling with doing that. He is struggling with doing that here. To me, this is, like Tika said, everybody needs a Shedeur story. So he pulled up the Shedeur thing after this, which I'm like, this don't really make sense. I think the better portion of this was when Cam was speaking about his experience. But when he was talking about Shedeur, I didn't get it. Let's keep the chat going. Campbell's being disingenuous rather than defend Shedeur. He was trying to show him up. What part of rookie Cam does it get? Yeah, that's he to me, he was just speaking like a 50-year-old speaking on a 24-year-old and understanding more about life than them. Mofo, what's going on? Welcome back. Rex Ryan, Lamar, etc. We're at it with the nonsense. Yeah, I just man, I just block out the noise. I know what they're about. Because how he get there from talking about Rex Ryan? Yeah, did it make sense? We just picked up cornerback Damari Mathis. Yeah, I saw that, which is good because cornerback could be a thing that's thin room for us. Cam often just yaps, and I always get startled when he starts randomly yelling. Yeah, he's trying to add like his touch to it, but I think former pro athletes do the best when they are speaking through the lens of how they felt in the moment and what they went through. Whenever they try to be analysts, I think it comes down a notch with what they're doing. People should understand how you can manipulate EPA to show what you want someone to look like. You got some points there. EPA goes against conventional football. That's what it does. EPA goes against conventional football with how they score some things, and it was based on trying to get an understanding of it. That's what my issue with EPA. Where we at? Cam is talking from the lens of a seasoned quarterback. Shador is a rookie. Cam, relax. I agree with that. It's like everyone forgets Shador was a rookie last year with a messed up situation. Toes out season. Toes out season for our Jizzle. Stefanski wasn't sabotaging specifically, but he was pulling him every time he was in TD range and often letting him throw on third downs, but had Dylan drop back 50, 60 times that one game against the Steelers. Man, the sabotage. I'll just say this. I don't believe Kevin Stefanski is good enough to sabotage. And well, I'll keep it pushing. Cam is RC, Hill, Acho, and the rest. And they could do a good job if they stuck to the lens of what if they stuck to the lens of what they were talking about. It is a part that I want to say. It is a part that I want to talk about. Cam actually is going to talk about, and he's not going to say it, but it was a bad scheme because it was predictable. So let's play it.
Okay, it's third down. I'm not about to take the cheese.
So here we go. This is where Cam, I don't know how much he thinks about what he's going to say before he says it. But this highlights it was a poor scheme that the Browns were running. And when I say poor scheme, it's because it was so predictable. So let's play it.
A hitch. And once the defender sees, hey, I'm passing this seam off to my safety, I'm not going to allow a seam to take two defenders. So now I'm going to find work. That's all the defender did. That's nothing elite about that. That's just somebody saying, hey, down the distance, okay, it's third down. I'm not about to take the cheese, that's another football term.
Yeah.
Say, hey, or lifting up your skirt.
Yeah.
If a person looks and is enticed of a drag route, sneak route, or something short in anticipation to throw something behind it, that's not what.
Because that's what they're trying to get you to bite on.
Correct. So when you use the term, a clear out route or a seam, then a dagger to come behind is always something where you're expecting that seam to take 2 for 1. 2 for 1 meaning you want to take that middle linebacker quarterback to be successful when you're behind the sticks. Behind the sticks is another term that refers to, hey, if you find yourself in third and long, it's almost expected that you're going to throw.
Yeah, it's like how many other plays can you really?
It's going.
Okay. Now, that's the best point Cam made during this whole time. This highlights that the scheme was bad. So if you're in third and long, they know you're going to throw. They know you're going to try to get across the sticks. You really only have a couple options in third and 20 plus. Third and 20, you can run a draw, you can run a screen, or you can try to go deep. Those are the options. So that's a poor scheme that you keep ending up in third and 20. It's a poor offensive structure if your offensive line always jumping offside, always getting holding, because you can't really beat third and 20 a bunch of times. Maybe once or twice here and there, but you cannot beat that a lot. It shows a poor scheme that you always end up being behind the sticks. It shows a poor scheme that you're always behind the sticks. So that's the only good thing I believe Cam said there. The only good thing. All right, where we at? Cam reading defenses is on the same level as Watson, not his strongest point, with the benefit of film versus young player. Yeah, I agree. When you got the benefit of looking at the film, and this is from 6 months or 8 months ago or whatever it is from ago, you're going to sound a lot smarter because you're not having to do it in the moment. The real problem is they don't watch the games and only rely on analytics to push narratives. Zedric, you are onto something when we get to QBR, when ESPN talks about why they created QBR. You're onto something. The song and video allows Shador to address the weight of last season from the draft fall, Stefanski and his dad's cancer battle. I agree with that, Pitboy. I agree with that. Barely know what they're seeing when they watch. That's a fact. Our Jizzle said, no ugly toes. The hats are Cam's dresses. Stefanski offense was trash, and his lack of in-game adjustments set a bad team up for failure. I agree with that. I agree with that. I really want Pablo Torres to look into Jarvis Landry comments. Stefanski was using Van Pelt to create the plays and wasn't there for the only playoff win. Went to the Falcons and hired AVP immediately. It's theories that they say that, he was forced to fire Alex Van Pelt. But Kevin Stefanski was he negotiated a contract during that time. So Kevin Stefanski could have left. So I just don't think Kevin Stefanski, I think the game has moved past where Kevin Stefanski is offensively. And he's not flexible enough to change. Some data points should not be released to the public. Can't do basic math and deduction, but want to look at charts to judge players. Facts. Talk to him. Talk to him. It's enough room for everybody, family. We don't got to tear down others to support. I agree with that. I'm not sure what specific point you're talking about, but I agree with that. Browns had no creativity with play calling. 3rd and 20 was always, and that's why they were unsuccessful. If they weren't consistently third and never not going to get it, we had like 4 or 5 more wins. I agree. You cannot, 3rd and long is not the position you want to be in. Coach Prime said it best to me, Shador is a savant when it comes to football. Who else could have produced what they did with Kevin's trash play calling backups and no preparation? That's the nuance. That is the nuance. All right, I just wanted to highlight that Cam Newton needed a Cam story, but the best part about what Cam said was actually exposing the system and the scheme that Shador was playing in. Let's keep it pushing. Comment creeping is next. Where we at?
Hey, y'all, come look at this. Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Please don't be me. Please don't be me. Please don't be my comment. I was just joking.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
We got comment creeping. Comment creeping, y'all. This is Boog. He is defending, well, not defending Shador in this instance. He is explaining why a private jet company would want to work with Shador. And this is what he said. If I owned a private jet company and I heard that Shador purchased a private flight just to keep his word to some kids he never met, I would have reached out to do a deal with him immediately. One of the most influential sports figures and kids together is a major business win. I agree with that, Boog. Now, Emmett Golden, he's also on ESPN Cleveland. This is his response. What he did was super cool. It will only be a win if majority of Shador's fans had enough money to charter a PJ. LeBron is the biggest name in sports, and he doesn't even have that type of endorsement. If we're being honest, PJ companies don't advertise to sports fans because they know most people can't afford them, so it's a waste of advertising dollars for them. Now, when it comes to things, I remember, let me tell y'all a quick story about this. This is what I believe is happening. ICE is selling insurance. And I remember in one of our trainings, we had higher up tell us, you've got mail, breaking news. We're going to get to that. Oh, wow, that's crazy. We're going to get to that. A higher up told us that you wouldn't feel comfortable selling a policy of something that you couldn't afford. So if you are not into planes, you don't know where any of the advertisements go for planes. You can't figure out why this would make sense. What they are not recognizing, what Emmett is not recognizing is when it comes to a private plane company, they want people who are around people who will also utilize this. Not someone where you advertise it. Because then I would ask them, when have you seen anybody advertise it? So to me, this is a lack of understanding of how that works. I'm into planes. I'm going to see way more stuff about planes than anybody else because I'm into planes. He's not going to see it. That's not what he's into, and it's not something he uses. So Darren Smith cleaned it up for him, and shout out to Darren Smith. Darren Smith said, PJ companies actually do partner with athletes because one did it for years with Mahomes. He had success, and they flew his family to games home and away for about 5 years. Why they did this is on them, but it does actually happen. So this is where sometimes you can be out of your depth in what you're speaking about. And to me, Emmett Golden was out of his depth, and he couldn't see it because it's not something he utilizes and it's not something he's into. Yeah, it threw me off a little bit, but we gonna keep it. It threw me off a little bit. I wasn't expecting them to go there. So I like the way that Boog is pushing back. So Boog is the one who I think can push back, and it actually makes sense for him to push back. Like all of us pushing back, we're not getting them to change. I saw something else where Mikey McNuggets got something wrong, I think, and people were giving him flack on X, and then he came back and said that he got it wrong. So when Boog says something official, they'll get people to change. But us, it's not. They're not changing because we push back on their lack of understanding. So I'll say that. That's the first part of Comic Creeping. Second part of Comic Creeping, we're going to get into a little bit of QBR. And shout out to Zedric. He had this interaction, and this interaction showed me why people just shout out QBR, but they don't really know where it's from. So let's keep it moving. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Monken was best hire for this version of the Cleveland Browns because of the roster made up. The Browns need a real coach that could develop a scheme. I agree with you. At first, I was not happy. Then I looked into Monken more, and then I was like, definitely this is the hire we needed. So shout out to you, Pitboy. Make sure you tap like and subscribe. I am sipping on my wine, getting dressed to attend my niece's wedding. She lives in NC, but the wedding is in Chicago. Congratulations to your niece. Congratulations to your niece, and have a great time at the wedding, Dr. Clyde Marshall. I have to look it up again, but FB Teams also revealed how Dylan's coach ran exact scheme as Kevin, and calling him super computer was disingenuous because he didn't have to learn anything new. I don't know if I totally agree with that because they had different. I won't go on a long tangent, but I'll just say this. In Oregon, when Dylan was there, he had a bunch of speed guys on the outside. Even his tight ends were more of pass catchers versus inline blockers. They ran a lot of stuff out of the shotgun. Kevin Stefanski doesn't primarily use the shotgun. So, I mean, it might have been a couple of plays that overlap because that's football, but the schemes are not really the same because if y'all remember last year, one of the big changes that they thought Shedeur and Dylan will have will be going under center more, and that's because Kevin Stefanski is plays under center a whole lot more and less shotgun. So while there could be some similarities, I wouldn't say their schemes are similar. Kevin Stefanski originally was an outside zone scheme person, ran a lot of play action and bootleg off of it. When it got later on, he didn't stick to those things. So they probably had a little bit of overlap, but I wouldn't say a lot of overlap. You talking about somebody whose daddy have their own PJ to get them to and from destinations to include St. Croix. Yeah, Emmett Golden just was out of depth there. Oh, wow, all that for him to go to Philly. Yeah, I'm surprised he's going to Philly. Cam Newton's a top shelf buster, clown plus. He probably busty. Not he probably busty. Oh, no. There's a pattern that continues to show up with this Cleveland media. There's always one that has to downplay what Shedeur has going on. That's a fact. Shanithia, what's going on? Welcome in. Glad to have you. Where you at? Right, here we go. Here. Come to Off the Record D, where we gonna read your super chats. Your voice is gonna be heard. Happy Friday, Shanithia. Welcome in. Glad to have you. Did you notice that they didn't show Dylan coming into the building? I did notice that. The Learning Center teaches math. Keith Hunt, Jersey in the building. Welcome back. Hey, D, chat family. Keith Hunt, Jersey in the building. What is going on? How you feeling?
You don't understand.
Welcome back. We are back at it, y'all. We are back at it. Who did you want, D? Because I remember you wasn't feeling Monken. I wanted Nate Shieldhouse. That was the original quarterback. Head coach I wanted. I wanted Nate Shieldhouse. Dylan Gabriel is a good backup. That's why I'm on the side of keeping him because Deshaun Watson is going to be gone after this year. Taylor Green isn't ready. I might not be ready for 2 to 3 years. Yeah, once they start talking about working on Taylor Green's throwing motion, I was like, yeah, that's a more long-term project than I think people believe. The pocket watching from some Cleveland media folk as it relates to Sanders is crazy. Yeah, that's where the jealousy started to creep in. Dylan needs preseason to raise his stock. I think he's more game ready than Taylor Green. Yeah, definitely more game ready than Taylor Green. They got to work on. They were saying they got to work on Taylor Green's release and throwing motion to get him to speed it up. So that's going to take time. That's going to take time. All right, let's get to the second part of comment creeping. Okay. I have to look it up, but it was a position coach that had crossover with Kevin's scheme, so it was more like coaches in common, previous team experience. I'm not knowledgeable enough to translate. Oh, no. That's perfect. That makes sense. Yeah, because their schemes wasn't really the same, but they definitely could have some similar guys who have worked with the scheme before. That makes a lot more sense. You've got mail. Oh, wow. Whole thread from LeBron. Okay, we're going to see if we got time overtime to do our reaction to LeBron choosing Philly. Yeah, that's the only reason I'm on the other side of keeping Dylan Gabriel for now. Shout out to y'all. Glad to be back. Definitely glad to be back. All right, let's get to the Bearded Browns podcast. Man, they're moving different. Okay, so they had an interaction. Hold on, y'all. Let me switch this to my other browser so I can go to their interaction they had with Zedric speaking on QBR. Because they don't really understand QBR. And then we're going to get to QBR right after this. So let's swap this out real quick. Let's take you down. Let's go here. Okay, here we go. So this is when I knew that they didn't really know what they were talking about. So this is what they said. So remember, this conversation is about QBR. So if those two TDs went to Shedeur instead of Quinshon, you're telling me he wouldn't see a big jump in QBR for a 3 TD 1 interception game. Surely that's a good stat to use to judge. Their response, I'm going to read it word for word. No, it would not. Sanders is responsible for 80% of a drive that scores. Hold on. No, it would not. Sanders is responsible for 80% of a drive that scores points, each stat credit, running on the last player, not what are you not getting? Literally at this point, you're scraping to not be wrong. It's okay. So this is where they were really wrong. Really wrong. QBR does give you points if you score a rushing touchdown. They were really wrong. So I was like, they don't know what they're talking about at all. So we're going to break down QBR. And we're going to explain and show what QBR really is because they are off.
With that. And
Hold
then
on,
finally.
Let me pause. Hold on. I ain't ready for you to talk yet. Glad you back. They have to completely rework Taylor's mechanics from what people have said. He's like a 2-year project, I guess. Yeah, it's definitely gonna take some time on Taylor. Honestly, if we have to use Green in game, it will be a sign this team's failure, not success. I agree with that. LeBron going to Philly. Yeah, LeBron going to Philly. LeBron is going to Philly. He's going to Philly. DG is a better backup. They'll have to get someone else in as QB3 if he's out, and the media will just start campaigning to replace 4 and 2 with that person. I agree. I'm on the free Dylan side. It all depends on Taylor Green. What's going on, Marie? Where we at? Here we go.
Everybody stay on that side when they switched up. You switched up, stay on that side, man.
Welcome back, D. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. What's going on, Marie? Welcome back. Glad to have you. Bearded Browns have some questionable voices on Twitter. Barking Browns have Jake, Real Scott, and are good. Bearded Browns are pretty biased, in my opinion. They have a couple pro Shedeur guys, though. I'll say this. I don't like when a bunch of different people comment from one account and you don't know exactly who you're talking to. I don't like that. They tend to use that, and that doesn't make sense to me because you don't know who you're talking to. So, but this take right here, they are wrong. There's no other way to put it. There's no way to put it. They are wrong in this take. They are wrong. And I'm not just going to tell you they're wrong. I'm going to show you exactly what QBR is to prove how they're wrong. So we're going to take it another level. Ryan Clark, I recall when you changed and talking about Shedeur as well as Shady. Yep. JJ McCarthy had a worse year than Shedeur Sanders, but had a way better QBR. Things that make you go, I knew who I was arguing with based on his response. Is Bronny James going to Philly as LV luggage? We gonna see. We're gonna see. I listened to Bitter Browns for a fan-to-fan chit-chat, not credible news. Yeah. I like Josh from the Dogs podcast. His vid with Mac Blank was good. Let's get to it. If you got here a little bit later, we've been introducing some segments, so I've been kind of stopping a little bit more to introduce those segments, and it's time to introduce another one.
Statman. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, that's you. We all Statman. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, that's
Statman. Yeah, that's you. Okay, so Statman, throughout the year, we're going to look at different stats. We're going to break them down throughout the season, but Statman could also be us breaking down what an actual stat is so people know exactly what it is. So let's clean up some of this stuff on my end. All right, I just had to grab something. There we go. Okay. Now, a lot of people say, what is QBR? What is QBR? Why was QBR created? What does it track? Why is it used? So, I know y'all never seen this nowhere else because nobody really put in the work like that. It's okay. What you're about to get about QBR, you're going to get the who, what, when, where, why, and how of QBR. That's what you're going to get. Now, first, let's get the who of QBR. So let's start the video. Let's start a little bit before that.
Thank you very much. I am Jeff Bennett. I'm the Senior Director of ESPN's Production Analytics team. And what's going to happen over here in the next hour is a little different than what this room has seen over the last 48 hours. So what we're doing here is going to have more of a presentation feel. I'm going to give an overview of kind of the backstory about QBR and how we got there to the rating system. And then Dean and Peter will take more of a deep dive into how we create the rating, some of the stories that we told throughout the fall, and some of the things we learned along the way that were most interesting to us. So to start off, the analytics team, when we were formed,
Nita smiled. The stat man didn't look as happy as he sounded. That's because he's locked in. He's focused. He's thinking. He's locked in. That's why I question Kevin always pulling Shedeur before he could score. That would affect QBR, right? That would definitely affect QBR. That definitely would. All right.
we are going to help create sports metrics and tools to help ESPN innovate in the way that we tell stories with advanced statistics across all our platforms.
Now, I want y'all to hear this. This is from ESPN Analytics team. We are going to help you tell stories. They mentioned that a bunch of times throughout this, that part of the reason why they created this was to help tell stories, and they also wanted to create a better stat than passer rating. So the who is Jeff Bennett, Dean Oliver, Peter Keating, Albert Lacarta, and Henry, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Also, Trent Dilfer will be mentioned. John Gruden was part of the rollout. So there were some former players who helped with this. That is true. That's usually what most people quote. They put, there were people who were former NFL players who were part of this, which that's cool. When do you think was the last time then they improved the metric. They had to improve it a couple of years later because they had to change their clutch. So they were trying to figure out what would make a drive at the end of a game clutch and giving it more weight. But later on, they weighted it wrong. So 2 years later, they had to change it. My bad. It was QBR last Saturday. G Bush did a whole show on. He was tired of random clowns using it. Oh, okay. Got you. Yeah, QBR was released to the public in 2011. They start working on QBR in 2018, 2008. 2008 is when they start working on it. So let's listen to some more. Y'all caught that. It's a light bulb moment. It's for the media not to understand teams or players. Tell stories. Interesting. Yes. Yes. All right, let's play it.
So we start off as looking at projects to prioritize for the 2011 year. And at the top of the list, it was pretty obvious. We should start with the NFL. For one thing, 2011 at ESPN was the year of the quarterback. There's a big content initiative around that. And of course, the NFL is a very important property, ESPN, and a huge content driver for us. These quarterbacks are discussed 52 weeks a year, it seems like. So that was a good one for us to start off with. And the NFL itself has a passer rating. That's how they determine who their top quarterback is each year. And it's a system that's almost 40 years old and hasn't been changed once. It was actually designed without even using computers. And it only looks at 4 components of passing on a per-play basis. There's no game context. There's nothing that a quarterback does with his feet. And that's a very important part of the modern quarterback game. So it never really answered the question of what a quarterback does to contribute to scoring and winning. And we knew that.
So you caught that content driver? So Zedric, I hope you caught what he just said as well. When your example that you gave to Bearded Browns podcast, if Shedeur scored 2 rushing touchdowns, would it make his QBR higher? And they said no. The answer is yes, it would have made his QBR higher. And part of when they were building QBR, they wanted to make sure that quarterbacks got credit if they were to rush for a touchdown. If they were to rush for a touchdown. If they were to rush for a touchdown, they would get credit. They would get credit. So, when I say people don't know, when they're not basing this on 40-year-old. When they were talking about 40 years ago, they were talking about passer rating, and they were comparing it. But if a quarterback rushes, you definitely get a higher QBR. So, Bearded Browns podcast was wrong, and I can say that with my whole chest, they were wrong, because I know that they don't fully understand what it is by saying no. Let's keep it going.
We could create a tool that has some utility for us at ESPN to tell more sophisticated stories about probably the most important position in North American sports.
What just came up again? We want to make sure you can tell more sophisticated stories. I hope y'all are hearing this. I didn't say this. This is directly from the people who built it. They want to be able to tell stories. If I'm not mistaken, this is the 2nd or 3rd time they've mentioned telling stories when explaining why this was created. Y'all hear it. Y'all hear it. I'm not making this up. So the who is ESPN put this together. I named the people that are on the screen who helped put it together. What we are talking about is total QBR. They just call it QBR now. They took off the total. Why this was created? This was created to be a better stat than passer rating. And it was also so they could tell better stories. So they could tell better stories. Hopefully y'all hearing this. Marvin Woodbury What's going on? Texarkana in the house. What's going on, Marvin Woodbury? Glad to have you back. Glad to have you back. All right, let's keep it going. Let's get some more. Let's get some more. Maya, what's going on? What's going on?
So with that in mind, we also had great data at ESPN to take advantage of with the Stats Information Group.
Also, let me say this quickly. I wasn't ignoring you about the link, but Shanithia, the link to this, the work I put in to get this, if anybody else wants this link, they got to come directly to me. I'm not going to share this link publicly. So then somebody could just take it without giving credit. This year 2, people going to give you credit for the work you put in. If you notice, it is a watermark on the screen. People going to give you work. They're going to give you credit for the work you put in. So this link, I'm not sharing it publicly. People got to come directly to me and say, hey, can I get that link? Especially other content creators. So we're just making it clear. Year 2 will not be like year 1. People will not just steal content from me and then just play it off like it's theirs. So if there's something that I put a lot of work in, y'all gonna see a watermark on the screen. If other content creators, if they want to see it or if they want to use it, they got to come directly to me and then they can have it. But otherwise, year 2 will not be like year 1. It's going to be that way on a bunch of different things. So if they want to come, people got to do business the right way. I gave people a whole year of stealing. Not no more. Not no more. If you would like to work with me as another content creator, if you would like information, go to OffThaRecordDee.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, hit business inquiries. You can fill it out and we can put something formal together. We're going to do business the right way over here, y'all. We gave people a lot of chances last year. So if you ain't going to say my name, then you just not going to get the info. It is what it is. Let's keep it pushing, y'all.
We have official NFL play-by-play going back 10 years, which was very important. But really, that really distinguished us was that we had this library of video track statistics, a team of professionals that were trained by Super Bowl winning quarterback Trent Dilfer, who've been charting every play in the NFL since the start of the 2008 season. And the way it was categorized lended itself to be analyzed very easily for us. So this is a great way to get some details to allow us to do some more comprehensive studies that would be part of our division of credit component, which Dean will talk about more in a few moments. So we started off looking at our play-by-play and created expected points and win probability models, which are really the framework of the total quarterback rating.
Let me pause it. Expected points. Expected points. Where have we heard expected points before, y'all? Where have we heard expected points before? Where have we heard expected points? I'll let y'all know. EPA, expected points added. So this is not from me. This is from the people who created the stat. They were using EPA. Funny enough, when I did my breakdown on EPA, I said EPA is a team stat. The NFL agrees with me. I put out a short on that. Also, they're going to say we had to divide EPA to give quarterbacks the proper credit. Why would you divide something that was only tracking it for one player? Hey, y'all. I'm just putting the information out there. They're going to say full EPA later, but let's go.
And we're doing this division of credit analysis as well along the way. And concurrently, we're blessed at ESPN that there's people who played the game at ESPN who work there all the time. So we are setting up a series of meetings with former players and coaches to pick their brain. When they're looking and evaluating quarterback play, what's important to them? It also allowed us to have a very open dialogue about some of the things that we were finding currently when we were doing our early steps in the division of credit analysis. Things such as who is to blame on certain types of sacks based on the formation, number of rushers, things of that nature, game and distance situations. It was very validating in the things that they were saying to us.
So they did go to former players. They did get their input. They did get their input on how they should put this together, what should be important. But this is a tool that's put together so you can tell a story based on their words. Basically, if you don't understand it. If you don't understand what you're seeing when you're watching football, we created QBR. At the time, it was called Total QBR. We've created this for you so you can understand the game within the game without really understanding the game. So let's keep it pushing. Let's get to some more of the how. We're going to go forward slightly to about here. Now, it's probably hard to see it on the screen. I'm going to read it for you. Method outline. For each play, team expected points added. We know what expected points added is, y'all. That's EPA. They're going to divide credit to the quarterback, assign clutch weight from pre-play situation. With that portion, assign clutch weight, they had to adjust that 2 years later. To get QBR, sum over all plays of interest, rescale to 0 to 100. Let's go.
We introduced the slide there. Okay, so if you think about the quarterback position, it is about, they have an incredibly diverse role in generating wins, essentially, for a team. Our idea is to use the data that we have at a play level to really build up this whole body of work for a quarterback. So I talk about here what we did on each play, but really we are trying to incorporate the whole body of work. And when you sit back, you can't see every single play, but we have the ability to slice and dice this so that we can tell good stories about quarterbacks, to rank them overall, to rank them in different situations. And by doing things on every play, that gives us a methodology that's robust to all these questions. But if
hey, y'all, you can't make this up. Again, they mention telling good stories. Telling good stories. They mentioned it again. Like, I think that's very key. I think that's very key into understanding why this was put together and how people are going to use it. Because, again, they're saying, hey, we got to tell good stories. That's key, y'all. That's key. That's part of their main intentions when it comes to total QBR. That's part of it. It's a simplified way to understand, but you don't really understand. That's fact. Based on how things are trending, I think Shedeur should definitely start. Deshaun Watson would be great to help Shedeur again. Even DG could be a good resource since he's good on the whiteboard. I see what you did there. D, that's a great way to get your brand and channel out there with the watermark. It should bring you more views and subscribers. Good move. I appreciate that, Marie. Yeah, we going to a different level this year, y'all. We going to a different level. Different level. Shout out to Zedric. I got that from you as well.
If you're looking at a play, there's a lot of things that happen. First of all, how do you translate downs, distances, yard lines, touchdowns, these sorts of things into one common unit? So we developed, as Jeff mentioned, an expected points added metric. This is not entirely novel. I'll go through that. So the first step is how good was the play? Expected points added. Second step was how much was the quarterback responsible for? The concept of dividing credit is pretty important in sports, so we went through that process. We used Ben Elamar, who's a professor who's done a lot of work on this, to help us with that. And then finally, one of the things that came out of our consultation with the experts was that clutch time was important, clutch performance was important, and we added that as well. To get the total QBR rankings that you see on .com, you sum over all those plays. If you want to know what the QBR is on third downs, you sum over the third down kind of plays. And then for the purposes of communication, we did scale it between 0 and 100 because that's a fairly obvious scale. 100 obviously is great, 0 is bad. And over the course of a season, you end up with things along the lines of 75 being MVP level.
Okay. So with playing this, I wanted y'all to leave here with a better understanding of QBR. Who is ESPN, their analytics team, some former NFL players, is who put this together. What did they put together? Total QBR, now it's known as QBR, is what they put together. Shout out to Cedric. I got that from you. The why they put it together. Why they put it together is to tell better stories. Tell better stories and to be better than passer rating. When, this is a long video, but in 2008, Trent Dilfer started to track every play and grade them. And that's when this research started, was in 2008. It wasn't released to the public until 2011. How is right here on the screen. How they created this, or what they created. For each play, you take the team expected EPA, divide credit to the quarterback, assign clutch weight to get QBR, sum over all plays, rescale 0 to 100. That is what QBR is. If any person tells you QBR does not include or would not increase based on a player scoring another touchdown, it is incorrect. And what I'm giving you here, I'm giving you a shield so you can block out the things that people say and do so you don't even have to listen to it. If you use it as a sword, that's your choice, but I'm giving you a shield to block out the noise. That's what I'm doing. So now that we all caught up on QBR, we know what QBR is. Don't you find QBR funny that it's so heavily used by the media and how it is EPA is intertwined into it? Don't y'all find that funny? So that's QBR. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that from Statman. Let's keep it pushing. We are going to get to the main event of the show. We got a little time for overtime at the end as well. So, main event. Hopefully y'all are ready.
Let's get ready to rumble! Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's keep it pushing. We got the Apple Music interview. We're going to listen to some of the Apple Music interview with Shador, break down some good things that he said. Then we're going to wrap this thing up with the Todd father, Todd Monken, and his interview that he had to release about 2 days ago. And then after that, we got special news. LeBron thought he was going to call it a career. He changed his mind from what I'm seeing quickly and decided to join the Philadelphia 76ers. So we going to get to it. Let's start off with Shador.
Years in that room.
Mm-hmm.
What is that experience actually like, being at those shows?
I would say it's great to see everybody accomplishments. To see them be able to accomplish what they've been working for all the time. So that's kind of like the icing on the cake, for yourself whenever you get those awards and whenever you win. I know I ain't win no award tonight. I probably got the People's Champ Award, but that's probably it. And I'm excited about that. I don't need hardware for it.
Yeah. I mean, you're early in your career still, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure those are things that,
They're going to come, for sure.
Exactly. You're working towards it. But it's nice to go out and celebrate your peers.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. So obviously, you do have a new song out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Then football season's coming up. You got a lot going on. But also, you just graduated from college.
There's not really a lot going on, though.
That's not really a lot going on?
No.
I mean, the list is short, but those are intense things I just listed.
Nah, music is like therapy. It's like, instead of playing a game, video games, I just make music. I like working on something at all times.
Yeah.
When I'm making music, I'm working on my mental capacity, on being able to stretch my mind and make things make sense, And it's kind of like, you put yourself in those moments because your feelings, you're going to feel the same. You're going to have the same amount of feelings. It's just like, I may feel this way at 18. I may feel this way at 20. I may feel the same way at 24. They're all the same feelings. So for me, I created something that's my own therapy, so I don't need a therapist.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like what Shador is saying here. Some people have a false view that if you are a football player, from sun up to sundown, you do everything based on football. And if you've ever done anything that is high pressure, you need times where you take a break from doing something that's high pressure. And I don't know why so many fans don't understand this, but they just assume Tom Brady, from the time he woke up until the time he went to sleep, was reading the playbook or throwing the football. And that's not it. That's not it. When you do these high pressure things on a day-to-day basis, you need outlets to release. And sometimes it's to release your creativity. Sometimes it's to take your mind off of what you're working on from every single day. I don't know why people don't understand that and why they don't see it that way, but go ask the airline pilot, what do they do to take their mind off working? That's high pressure. You got a lot of people's lives in your hands based on the decisions you make. Ask them how they take their mind off of it. This is Shador tapping into his creative side and also getting stuff off of his mind so his mind is clear. If you do something, I'm going to keep saying this, if you do something that's high pressure, you have to have a clear mind. If you do not have a clear mind, you will get caught up on the small details. He even explains that later. So your mind has to be clear. The people who want to flip this and act as though him doing anything with music is stopping him from anything he does on the field, see Quinshon Junkins. Go to Quinshon Junkins' YouTube. He bought a guitar on the video that he released, and he was talking about how music is a creative thing for him. Would anybody say Quinshon Junkins is not putting in the work? Nope. Most people haven't even watched the video to see that Quinshon Junkins also is into music. People have hobbies. It's just part of it. So the people who don't understand that, I just put them lower on the chart of people I need to listen to when they try to break things down. It's no point. You're correct, Maya. You do need some sort of outlet. The most peaceful people I know are beasts. You need to be able to let the killer mindset go, not to lose it. You got to be able to get to something else. Have to. And definitely he is the people's champ, Marie. All right, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Well, so when you released Perfect Timing, that was 2024, right? We're a couple years removed already.
Sometimes, yeah.
So do you remember what you were going through at the time that you released that song?
No, I just got an AP. So I was like, I was just best on my AP. Perfect time. It was just like things happen like in perfect timing, honestly. Like I didn't know what the song, or I don't have intentions. Like with the music, I do it for fun. I enjoy it. So it's not like I'm really trying to like, as long as I keep that a hobby, because my main focus is football. Like my hobbies, I'm just able to monetize and make things make sense and other people like it. So like, I don't really like hiding my hobbies from the world.
Yeah, I get it. Everybody needs an out.
At least he's doing something. At least he's not doing something detrimental to his career. And that's the part that people don't understand. He mentioned that it was just like someone else playing video games with him creating music, and I would agree with that. Also, it's almost like they would feel more comfortable if he was out in the club, if he was out drinking, if he was out partying, which I just believe it's a backwards way to look at it. It's a backwards way to look at it, where it's like, oh, well, most people are drinking and partying, so you should drink and party. And if you're not drinking party, then we don't know how to look at you. And it's like, what are we doing? It's so backwards. This calm confidence he has should concern those that don't know what's about to take place. I agree with that. The interviewer was top notch. Yes, Nadeska allowed him to expand on things he wanted to expand on without cutting him off. And I think that's why he felt so comfortable, because she didn't make the interview about herself. So I believe that's why we really enjoyed this interview. I do hope Shador is open to therapy as needed. He's going through a lot. His father's health, draft slot, constant haters, fighting for QB spot. It can always help. He doesn't sound like somebody who's closed-minded to it, because he does a lot of self-evaluation and self-reflection. So I don't really get the sense that he's closed-minded to it, just because of how much he tries to make sure he puts himself in a position to be the most positive and all that stuff. So I don't get the sense that I don't know for a fact, but I don't get that sense he's close to it. I didn't know Spencer Fano got married until yesterday. Congrats to him. Definitely congrats. It was four weddings on the Browns, if I remember correctly from that slide. I think it was 4. So shout out to everybody who got married for the Cleveland Browns. It's about 4 or 5 guys. I don't remember everybody's names, but congratulations to them. Mental health is very important, and if music is how he escapes, it brings him peace, then make 1,000 songs, Shador. I agree with that. If you can't find an outlet, you become a Diggs or a Ray Rice or Antonio Brown. You can tell how healthy a person is by his ability to wind down. That's a fact. You have to let your brain relax. You have to. They just want something to justify their actions to how they treat him. I agree with that. Respect this young man so much with the world we live in. This young man's mentality gives me hope. I agree with that. Totally agree. I think his brain works in a special way. Music probably works with the side of the brain. In my opinion, I respect whatever works for him. Me too. The national media and local want Shador to live up to their negative narrative of him. I agree with that. Pitboy. I agree. They wouldn't be happy with Shador out in the clubs. They just want more content to tear him down. Like Deion said, you didn't make me, so you can't break me. God got to. I agree with that. I don't know if when I was saying like they would be more comfortable, I think people in football, not the media would just tear him down. So I agree with that part. But I think people inside of football, so one of the supposed knocks on Shador was, does he really want to be a football player? I don't understand how you can have that knock on somebody like Shador who doesn't need to go play football. So if he's choosing to do this and put himself through the pain that he went through at Colorado, to me, that shows he wants to do this. But that was one of the knocks on him around the draft was, does he want to be a rap artist, is what they were labeling him as. So those people, to me, I believe they miscalculated or misjudged Shador. So I was more speaking to those people. The media would definitely just tear him down, so I agree with that. When Shador came to Cleveland last year, he was in the valley of the shadow of death. He finally in the promised land, now big dog. Hey, I think things are turning around. I think it's going to be real good for him. Real good. They have all had to acknowledge he has shown model character. Everyone else is holding their breath, hoping the stars don't commit crimes during the offseason. I agree with that. They're nervous. They're nervous to get that phone call in the middle of the night. One of their players was out doing this and that.
Outlet, right? Football is very intense.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm speaking from experience, so it makes sense that you get to have fun with the music. But if Perfect Timing was just fun and it was about the new AP, so the new single is called Turn Back.
Yeah.
This one is a little bit less fun.
It's less fun. This was a little less fun year.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking a lot about resilience in this song, right?
Yeah.
Dealing with shutting out outside noise, focusing on yourself, maybe dealing with betrayal. Can you tell me a little bit about, if this really is your therapy, what was it actually like putting all these feelings into the song?
I would say, like, I would be able to listen to the song right now and remember exactly how I thought and how I felt in those moments. So it's like, it gives me something, like when I'm warming up or when I'm working out, to have something to listen to. It gives me something to have a place where I could go back from. So like me and my family, all of us, we make music. Like, that's just what we've been doing our whole lives. It's just now, it's just on a bigger level.
I mean, why was now the perfect time to release this? You are big on timing, is something
I'm
I've
big on
noticed about
timing.
you.
I'll say because it's like, whenever I sat down and I thought about the song and I thought about everything, I think this feeling and the impact that this will have to other people that's going through different things, but the same feeling, I think they'll be kind of be able to gravitate towards that, and they'll be able to relate. I think who I am as a person, I'm able to relate to a lot of people, you know, and that's why I have a different type of love, and that's why I have a different type of support, and I understand that. So for me, I'm all about giving back to the community. So it's like, if you see, okay, this is how I felt, and we have similar feelings in this point in time, I made it out of that, you know. So it's gonna give somebody the hope and the confidence to know that this is temporary feeling.
Yeah. Having
I think that was a great answer on why this song has a different tone and feel than his first big song. And the reason why Turn Back is different is because he is explaining what he felt based on what he went through his own words, not us trying to piece together what he thought, what he felt, what he meant. So I think that's the draw to it. That's what I appreciate about it. That's why I appreciate this interview. This is him explaining it in his own words instead of us trying to kind of pick it up, you know, from bits and pieces. And this is also him having the freedom to explain it, which I think is very valuable and important. I'm glad he is able to express himself directly in the song, especially local media will always try to take him out of context. This was very introspective. I appreciate it a lot. Bull gave an interview a few months ago with G. Bush, and he spoke about Shador's mindset at the end of the season and how it weighed on him. You could see it in that last press conference. Shador went through a lot last year, and many people would have folded, called it quits, but he endured it and will be a better person and player. I agree with that. You can influence and manipulate crazy. You can't manipulate balance. You cannot. Facts D, the media is corny. That's why the aunties and uncles are out here to set the record straight and stay on them, not let them feel comfortable telling lies. And also, Marie, this was a great interview. Great interview. I think she gave him room to express himself. And sometimes that's what you need. Like, it doesn't matter how you feel about Shannon Sharpe. When Shannon Sharpe is interviewing somebody and he lets them speak, it's a better interview. And that's why his interview platform does so well. Crazy sells more tickets and gets more engagement. They're all content creators. They are all about the engagement. They're all about it. Let me see. Did I miss anything? I think I got everybody. Okay. Wish they put out a song with him and Studs. Definitely would be a hit. But maybe Studs is going to put that one out. It's possible. It's possible. I like the fact that as soon as Todd Monken was hired, one of the things he was saying about Shador was that he was fine with his hobby of making music. Then the Browns put out something about Shador's hobby of making music. Do y'all remember that video clip they put out about Shador, and they were doing it one for each of the players drafted last year, and they put out one of his hobbies is making music. You got to feel comfortable in the space you're going into. Going into the Browns building last year clearly wasn't a comfortable space. He didn't know who to trust. He talked about that more in the video that he released, where he was talking to Tony Brown. So I think he feels welcomed this year. He could be himself every day, and there is value in you being able to show up and be yourself every day. A lot of value in that. Yep, that is our auntie and uncle responsibility. Hey, you gotta tell them when the lies is
empathy
flying.
and being able to relate to others. That's in a lot of ways it's a superpower, and I'm sure a lot of that comes from your upbringing. It seems like your family is really big on having great morals and values, but also you were a sociology major, which I feel like is a very interesting choice as a major. Why is that what you chose?
I like just studying.
But you could have picked anything to study. Why sociology?
I would say a couple things. I would say I like learning a lot about people and about things. And for me, all my classes was online also, so I had a great time. I was able to put my focus in the football too. So it was a couple different things on how I got concrete in that at first. Because when I was at Jackson State, like it was amazing. Like I went to class like the very first day, and then like it was extremely strict about uniform, and like I didn't want to go to the store and then buy a whole new wardrobe, like suits and everything, like for the class. So I was like, yeah, I gotta change my major. But that was just that was freshman year way of thinking, though. Honestly, that was my freshman year way of thinking. So then everything just fell a course, and it got me into that.
Really? Did you enjoy it? So just to give sort of like a textbook definition of sociology, right? So this is really like a study of human society and
Mhm.
like social interactions, group behavior. That's again,
Mhm.
it's like very specific and I think really interesting because of the field that you're in, right?
Mhm.
Like this is you playing a really high stakes game and
Mhm.
people always have opinions about it. Like there's a whole industry built around having opinions on sports and
Yeah.
music. So I'm just curious if that major has helped you just sort of kind of process things a little bit differently.
I would say life experiences help me, honestly. I
Mm.
think school definitely helps a lot. And but for me it helped me with a lot of peers and it took me going through, different things mentally for me to really understand. So now I could have conversations with my dad and, with my mom about certain things
Mhm.
because now I understand. At the time I didn't really understand, kind of like had an idea. But it's a different type of understanding. It's a different type of respect I have for a lot of people um, in this world now. I think the whole reason why I even do the music because it's like it's not no more clout I want.
Yeah.
I
You got
think
enough?
I think I'm clout maxed out. I think I'm maxed out on that, and it's not for financial. I come from a great family, so at this point it's more about like from the heart and what's my purpose on earth. And I know within my purpose, like these are things that align with it.
Yeah, I
Him explaining like how his level of respect changed, that's something he mentioned after he put together the event for the 500 kids. He was explaining how when his dad would put those events together, he looks at his dad differently now because he understands what goes into it. So that's more of him explaining there, which I think that makes a ton of sense. Once you experience the level of work that goes into something, then you realize, man, this is different. Maybe I thought that they had less to do with this. So shout out to him. A lot of people, including myself, kind of stumble into their major, and it's nothing wrong with it. It is nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with it. I think in the end, if you end up with the major that is better for you, uh, even if you go undecided that your freshman year, I think that's better than forcing it in a major with something you don't really want to do, which a ton of people end up doing. You could see the stress release off of him the minute they sent Kevin Stefanski packing. Yep. Kevin's problem was threefold. He lacked accountability, authenticity, and couldn't admit being wrong. Yeah, just you can't have those three traits as a successful leader. You cannot. You cannot. Yeah, shout out to Tony Brown for being the anchor Shador needed at that time. I agree with that. When they dropped that video, I said then he was about to drop some music. Yep. You said that in Patreon. So she let him speak and she didn't try to put words in his mouth or try to set him up. I agree. I agree with that. All right, let's hear some more of this. Yeah, we okay on time.
I think purpose is essential, right? Of course, that looks different for everybody, but that's what no matter what circumstances you were born into, I think your purpose is what
Is what
keeps you sane and what drives you and makes you wake up every day and want to work. And so a lot of us grow up admiring legends from afar, from a distance, right? And we take whatever nuggets that we can get. But you have had this fairly unique experience of living with a legend and sort of seeing that just up close and behind the scenes. And I'm wondering just, some of the things you've taken away, right? I think when I think Jay-Z said this recently, when you talk about someone's legendary career, at this point, you see all of the wins and the accolades, but of course there were low moments along that journey, right? And so what lessons have you taken away in terms of dealing with some of the lows that come with career?
I would say you got to be able to stay confident throughout everything. I think when things don't go to your expectations, and so a lot of people's expectations, then you tend to build a world of doubt, and you build a world of not being confident within yourself. So I think that's why I'm even able to even be up here and be able to even have the courage to release anything or do anything because, like, I know I have the confidence within myself and I can't go nowhere. I had one doubt for a second, and I ain't like that feeling. So then I had to reach back and self-evaluate myself and really understand, like, I got to get back to me. Got to get back to me because that's the only way I could operate. That's the only way that I could be. But due to everything, you know, that happened, draft, everything, like, it put me in a different place mentally. It made me question a lot of things. And, you know, it was tough for me, honestly, but I made it out of that. So that's what this song represents. It's like I'm on the bright side of things now, mentally, within myself, within my viewpoint of a lot of things, and within, like, my respect for a lot of different things and my value system. I think I look at a lot of things differently. You could tell by the music, by the music that the other music that I like is different. I like always having a great surreal feeling at all times, and you could create that. But a lot of people in this world don't know how to get to that, and I feel like I found that within myself, and I found that with other things and other studies that I do. So it's like a color scheme. It's like you look at all these apps and all these businesses. It's like they understand colors. They study these different things because colors is feel. So it's like certain colors will make you feel a certain way and all that. So me, I like being in a great feeling, great mood. So I always have a lot of different colors at all time. I'm all black today because I'm in business mode. So it's like all black business mode.
Okay.
But I got colorful underwear on now.
Come on, Shador. He definitely was very comfortable in this, and I think the reason why we're seeing this level of confidence from him and him being himself is because he didn't get caught up on what he went through. As hard as it was with what he went through in the last year, he didn't get caught up on, I'm stuck going through it. He worked to bring himself forward and deal with it. He worked himself through it. And I think that's very important. And I hope people don't miss that I hope people don't miss that in what he's saying. Because you can just get caught up in, man, this went bad, this went bad, this went bad. And instead, he's like, yeah, all these things were bad, but I went through it. You know, I got through it, and I made my way through it. So hopefully people don't miss that. But Gordy's, what's going on, man? I appreciate you for being here. Thank you. Relationships are valued by the Sanders family, as we all see in their movements. I agree with that. It's like your world being flipped upside down. It takes a minute to adjust. I agree with that. Media used to Kevin saying nothing in press conferences and feeding them narrative BS. Monken speaks directly but doesn't give them inside info. That's why they're already against him. I agree. In our last thing that we have for today's show is going to be Ty Monken, and he's actually going to speak on that. So before we get to Ty Monken, give me about 1 second. Make sure you hit that like button. Not 1 second. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back, y'all. Give me 1 minute. Let's see. What should we play? Let's see. I'll be right back for the main event. Check out the main event. I'll be right back, y'all.
Let's get ready to rumble! 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 Let's get ready to rumble!
Stop ringing the main event bell in y'all ear. My apologies. Thank y'all for sticking with me. Now we're going to get to the top father, Coach Monken. I love how Shedeur gets it at such a young age. If I only got it that early in life. I agree. Too much Rumble repeat. Yeah, I didn't I removed my I'll be right back. So I gotta add that back. My fault, y'all. I gotta add that back. D to CD skipping. Oh no. Hopefully we good now. Let's get to the top.
So you were really excited. And I'm excited for your opportunity. So for those that don't know about.
Let me pause it. I go back to last press conference after the Cincinnati game. I remember saying to my wife, Shedeur looks beat down. Then he spoke, and it sounded like a young man ready for it to be over. I agree with that. Laurie, what's going on? Welcome back. Hey, family. So glad to see my kins in the clouds. Happy Friday. Welcome back, D. Miss you, young man. I appreciate that. I feel good to be back. Glad to be back. It was one of those where as time went, I was like, man, I was kind of nervous and ready to go back. But definitely happy to be back with y'all. It's time for some football, y'all. So I'm excited. All right, let's get to the Todd Father.
How the Cleveland Browns are looking from your eyes. You said you're young. There's pieces there that you're excited. What should we know in your eyes? What should we know going into camp here?
Well, I just think it's the right time. I'm so lucky to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns because I think it's the right time. You know, when I was here in 19, I really thought that the roster, we were close. You know, there'd been a number of moves made to help him in the draft. I mean, you draft Baker Mayfield, you have Denzel Ward, you draft Myles Garrett, you've got Nick Chubb, you've got Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham. I mean, we had Joel Bitonio. We had good players. And it was there, the start of it. And for whatever reason, us as coaches and as an organization, we didn't take the next step. And then you go through the last few years where, you know, you signed Deshaun and he's gotten hurt. And that hasn't come to fruition. And so you go through that. And I really believe we're right. It's a great time to be the head coach of Cleveland Browns because I really believe with the last couple of drafts, we're a young team. I believe that if our job obviously is to develop our younger players, right? And then we're gonna, whether it's Shedeur, whether it's Deshaun, or whether it's Dylan, or you know our quarterback situation, you've got to find a way to right that. And I do think Deshaun and Shedeur had really good springs. So I really believe it's no better time than to be the head coach of the Browns. We're young. Our guys love to work. It's been a great transition for us and the staff. And we're just looking forward to getting into camp and seeing where we're at. And so I just think it's the right time for us to keep working to ascend and to try and build a consistent winner that, you know, people ask all the time, like, as an older coach, like, why would you trade Myles Garrett? The guy would want to win this year. It's like, no, really.
All right, I got to pause it there because this is another good interview where they're allowing the Todd Father to speak and say what's on his mind without cutting him off and listening. Pit Boy caught that. Monken had to go back to a Baltimore person to do a real interview. It's hilarious. That's a fact because he doesn't get to really, they don't ask thought-provoking questions of him, so he doesn't really get the chance to expound on things. That is a good point, D. He worked through it. Not working through it holds a lot of people back. I agree with that as well. That's funny y'all said that. And then also, shout out to Laurie. Let's see. It's been so long. Let's see. All right, let's go here. And Y'all, I'm working through it over here. Here we go. I got it. I got it.
Oh my God! Wow!
I got money.
Shout out to Laurie. I appreciate you. Normally part of the replay gang. Thank you for all of your support. Welcome back, D. Happy Friday, family. I appreciate you. It feels really good to be back in front of y'all, having these conversations with y'all like we did previously. I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. Shout out to Black Pearl.
Oh my God! Wow!
I got money.
We see you, D. Keep up the good work. I'm trying. I want to make year 2 so much better than year 1. Not saying year 1 was a bad year, but I just want to take it to another level. So hopefully y'all appreciate all the work I put in and the things that we're going to do as we enjoy this upcoming season. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Shout out to both of y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all can tell it's been a while. I gotta find my way through my my screens over here, y'all. But we gonna work through it. All right, let's go. This is when Todd Monken is going to speak on the Myles Garrett trade and how you just can't come out and say everything in the public. And also, he's explaining his excitement to be a Cleveland Browns head coach. Yeah, he waited a long time for the opportunity, but at this point, you got a young team. You got a young team that had a great draft last year, potentially another great draft this year. They're going to be open up a lot of salary cap space. So with those things, that combination, this is where you want to be. This is where you want to be. This is the type of team you want to coach. That's why I say this is #NewCleveland. Y'all see it on the hat. Also, got some new merch coming. Maybe some hats, maybe some hoodies, maybe some additional designs for tees. Stay tuned. Make sure you check out OffThaRecordDee.com. We got some stuff coming. Let's go, Todd Father.
My job ought to be that in 20 years from now, this was the start of where teams are saying, why aren't we more like the Browns? Why don't we do it more like the Browns? Not a 1-year deal, not a 2-year deal. Like, let's set it up to where we do things the right way in the draft. We do things in terms of developing our players, and we're putting a product on the field that every year that this division has done that can compete for the division championship or a world championship. And I think that's the goal of every organization, is to build a consistent winner.
That's the goal. Set up a foundation for success. And I mean, it's no secret, Cleveland's been trying to find that formula consistently. And when you don't win, we know this, you're coming from Baltimore. We're on the flip side with the Orioles. When you don't have consistent winning over time, people want to see it. And then you got to make some decisions, whether they're popular or not, because of the value. I don't know if you just heard, you're a baseball guy, right, Todd?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, I hear. What position do you play?
Hold on. Let me skip forward slightly. I want to make sure in this stream we get to him breaking down the Myles Garrett portion of it. Make sure I get to it. So let me do this. I'm working through it over here, y'all. Let's go here. And we got to go here. Here we go. And then let me find our spot. This is the smooth flow that you got to get back. When you're going through it. Oh, man, I'm sorry, Black Pearl. I meant to play this for you.
What's up? What up?
I got you. Appreciate you, Shanithia. Come to Off the Record D, where we going to read your super chats. Your voice is going to be heard.
Oh, my God. Wow.
I got money.
I appreciate you. Shanithia D, welcome back. You just in time for me because I was getting tired of everybody on repeat from last season. Like the season did not end. Put a helmet or a football uniform on. Let's get ready to rumble. For real. They got to get ready. They got to get ready. Like, this is a new year. This is a new season. It's a new coach. It's a new system. It's so many new things that they just got to accept that year 2 will not be like year 1. Year 2 will not be like year 1. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for your support. I have to find. He's going to talk about the Myles Garrett trade, and I thought that was also interesting. So let me just find that quickly here. Okay, here we go. Wait. Okay, I think I found the spot. Yeah, I think I found it. All right, let's get this back up for y'all. Let's go here. And let's go here. Here we go. All right, I got the spot for y'all. And it is here.
You know, people ask all the time, like, as an older coach, like, why would you trade Myles Garrett? The guy would want to win this year. It's like, no, really my job ought to be that in 20 years from now, this was the start of where teams are saying, why aren't we more like the Browns? Why don't we do it more like the Browns?
Okay, I got to find it. I thought that was the part. It's a couple parts in this interview where he's going to talk about the Myles Garrett trade, but he's going to go a little bit more in depth about it that I want to find for y'all before we get to the overtime. So let me just find this real quickly. But we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. Let's see. Okay, I think it's here. I think I found it, y'all.
He was bombarded with trade questions. And then he sits there and he's like, I'm not thinking about it. And the GM, President Elias, comes out and says, we want him. And then now there's reports saying, well, they're listening. I feel like that's something you guys similarly were looking at. Where like Myles was sitting there of, hey, here's the options, but you guys got such a good deal. And Jared Verse is a beast, by the way. It was not like you just, oh, hey, we're throwing in a guy. You're bringing one of the better defensive players in the league with the picks. I mean, how is that like navigate on your side? You said about building blocks, but if the price is right and you're able to get pieces that you think are ultimately going to help you, you know, what's something that went through with you in that process?
Well, first off, let's go back a little bit to what you were talking about, which is, and then I'll get to the Myles, which is no one is beyond getting fired. Okay, so that is all what we deal with in professional sports.
Right.
And then very few players are untradeable. So you always have to listen, and an owner always has to decide whether they think the current staff that they have is going to take our team to the promised land, right? That's the world we live in. That's what we're paid to do. And if the owner doesn't believe that, then he's going to move on. And if a team doesn't believe this player is going to help us reach a certain plateau, then they're going to move on. When you talk to the media, like you're not able to always say exactly what you want to say. Mm-hmm. Like you can't have a general manager say, hey, every one of our players is tradable. Like we could get rid of every one of them. You know, you're just not going to say that. But what you do say is, no, we love Myles Garrett, and we do. We love this player. We see him being an Oriole for life. We see this player being a Raven for life.
This is very good because he's kind of pulling you behind the curtains of it just wouldn't be good for a player's psyche or mental stability if you are saying, hey, everybody can be traded. Like you got to go out there and say some guys aren't being traded or won't be traded. And you don't even want to put the idea out there because we know what the media does to stories. We know how they'll turn stories. We know how they'll try to manipulate stories. So I totally understand what Todd Monken is saying here.
see, but there's other things that come into play. Contract, the deal you get, your future. There's a lot of things. You know this. You've been involved with baseball. So the thing is there's no ability to always be transparent other than saying, we love this player. I would hope that when I was at the Ravens, it didn't work out, that the people there appreciated the work that I did. And but it didn't go the way we wanted. Okay, that's fine. But they're not going to come out and say, during the season, X, Y, Z about me or Harbs or whoever or a player. So let's just start with that. We all know that's part of what we do. That's the world we live in.
See, this is why you gotta go places where they let you finish and give your full takes on things. He is allowing him room to give his full thoughts on this, regardless of how long it takes. If he wants to say more, he's allowed him to say more. We saw this with the Shador interview, and we see this with the Todd Father, the Todd Monken interview. And I'm seeing some of your comments, and I think y'all are on the same side of me, like when it comes to Jim Schwartz. I was not the one who was, once Jim Schwartz did what he did, I was not the one saying, oh, just keep Jim Schwartz. Nah, man, you got to go. You got to go. You got to go. He quit. I still feel that way. He quit on his players. You got to go. Cleveland media wanted Miles gone all season, but now that he is, they believe the team is not about winning. Miles wanted out and had to go because you cannot have that energy around. I agree with that. Exactly. I have so many thoughts on Jim Schwartz. I feel like he really poisoned the defense to the new regime. Denzel and company deserve the money, but sitting out is not the time. Yeah, we're going to see if Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit sit out. Same would have been insane to hire a defensive coach who clearly has issues adjusting as well. We needed someone to develop offense. I agree with that. And hold everybody to the same standard. Monken is dropping gems. I agree. Miles is probably in media heaven with the Rams. I agree. I feel like he was using Myles Garrett to force ownership to make him head coach. It didn't work. Like Myles would only stay if he was the head coach. Man, if he did that, that just would not be smart. I think Myles did the math after last season and realized rebuilding years were ahead of him, and that didn't match his personal goals and his age. And I agree with that, Shanithia, and I would have no problem if he felt that way either. I would have no problem if he felt that way.
Coaches don't get traded for the most part, but players do, and I think that's the tough business for them. The day-to-day of the what if. With Miles, the bottom line is we would have not made the deal without Jared Verse. And I think this is more of a question for Andrew Berry, but I'm here now. It's like, ultimately, the trades that were done for other players the year before, earlier in the year, when you're just doing it for draft picks, the hit rates say it's at 60%-ish on a first-round pick. Well, let's say you got 2 or 3 first-round picks. Well, there's no guarantee they all hit.
Right.
There is none. Listen, we would not have done it without Jared Verse. We have an affection for Jared, what he brings to the table as a young player. Hell, defensive rookie there in Pro Bowl. Look it up. There's only been 16 or 17 of these dudes. Like, holy cow. So we got him. That opens up a year from now, probably almost close to $30 million in cap space because of the change out, which adds what? Another player. Then you get a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick. Now, you could argue and say, this isn't a trade for 2026. Jared Verse straight for Myles Garrett. Okay, you probably don't do that. That's fine. That's okay. But we wouldn't have done it without Jared Verse. Mm-hmm. And because Jared's worth more than a 1. He's a proven product.
I want y'all to hear what's happening and understand it. If you notice, 3 times he said we would not do this without Jared Verse. They want to make sure that Jared Verse is fully comfortable and fully confident that they believe in him now and his future with the Cleveland Browns and the organization. They don't want anybody to be able to come in and say, hey, Jared Verse wasn't our guy. He was a throw-in. They made sure to eliminate that from the beginning, and I think that's something that they did really well. AB said that from the beginning. Coach Monken, just look, and this hasn't even been 5 minutes. He said it 3 times. We would not have done this deal without Jared Verse. So that is giving Jared Verse the mental clarity that he can just go there and play. He can go and play without distractions. So I think that was very, very, very smart. Very good. I don't blame Miles for going to a Super Bowl ready team. It takes pressure off of such a young team, giving them time to develop. Verse is also a real leader and elevates teammates. I agree with that. I like Jared Verse a lot. I like his mindset. I don't see how people think that this team is not trying to win. I just don't see it that way. I see a team who is doing two things at one time. I see a team who is looking at the future, and also they're building on the now and compounding on what they're building. So I just don't see a team that's looking like they're trying to tap out. I don't see that at all. I don't see it. Definitely go check out this full interview. This is Ryan Ripken show with Coach Todd Monken. I dropped this in Patreon. And then last thing on the day, we're going to react to the breaking news, which surprised me. A lot of people thinking LeBron James might go to the Cleveland Cavs. As time went on, I didn't foresee LeBron going to the Cavs because more time, and then they're talking about all these crazy trade proposals for him to go. I didn't know it was Philly, but I just didn't think he was going to Cleveland. He's made a decision. He's going to Philly, plug and play guy. They don't have to trade anybody. So, hey, shout out to LeBron. I would have, of course, loved to see LeBron come to the Cavs. He chose otherwise. So, it is what it is. Freedom of choice when you're a free agent. So, more power to him. Won't be rooting for LeBron when they play the Cavs, but we're going to see how this thing turns out. We're going to see. More power to LeBron in Philly, but, it's the 216. We repping the Cavs. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this thing. So excited to be back in front of y'all. So excited to be having this conversation with y'all. So excited to have football back. So excited for this upcoming season with the Cleveland Browns. And it's getting real. It's getting real. So we're back at this thing. Make sure you subscribe. If you watch the replay of this, make sure you hype this thing up. And we are back live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. We do this thing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We back live. During the season, we might have times where we slightly adjust the times, but we will let y'all know. We will let y'all know if we have to adjust the times. But besides that, it feels so good to be back. What happened to the Browns? Oh, I got you. Let's see. We are here. Let me see. Let me make this better for y'all. Let me make it better for y'all. Hopefully they don't got no music on here. Okay, no music. So here we go. It's the breakdown. They're back on the field. They're back on the grass. They got helmets on. Football is back. Football is back. Hopefully y'all enjoy this thing. Hopefully y'all enjoy some of the changes. Definitely tap into OffThaRecordDee.com. Besides the merch we have over there, I got articles over there. I'm going to do an article at the end of training camp. And then after each game, I'll drop an article sometime in the couple days after the game. So be looking for that. We doing some big things. We're taking it to the next level. Year 2 will not be like year 1. Shout out to Laurie. Welcome back. Shout out to Black Pearl. Shout out to Shanithia. Shout out to Mofo. Shout out to Charmaine. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Keep eliminating the gray. I will see y'all on Monday. Peace, everybody.